He's persuaded Dick that what they both need is to get away from it all and seek out some much-needed solar inspiration. After a 2-hour drive, they get their first glimpse of one of the most staggering sights in southern Spain. Europe's first commercially run solar power station.
That's like nothing I've ever seen before. It makes our trip feel more like a pilgrimage. Do you know what I think? It's got that sense that there should be music just striking up from the heavens.
It's impressive.
We've got to go and get a closer look.
The solar tower, situated just outside of Seville, is a futuristic vision of how energy could be generated throughout the world's sunniest regions.
It appears to me as though somehow some massive science fiction nut landed the job as Spanish Minister for Electricity.
At ground level, the scale of this operation is mind-blowing. But in practice, how it works is amazingly simple.
We've got mirrors shining up, getting something nice and hot up there and making electricity.
A giant field of steel reflectors, or heliostats, surround a central 115-meter-tall concrete tower. The rows of heliostats steadily rotate to track the path of the sun. Throughout the day, they capture and reflect sunlight towards the top of the 40-story tower. The intense light is concentrated on a heat exchanger, which converts solar energy into steam. This steam is blasted into turbines generating 11 megawatts of electrical power, all without a single puff of greenhouse gas.
Keeping the sunshine reflected off these must be a mammoth job.
Keeping them all polished. That's not a job I'd fancy.
To find out about the running of the plant, Dick and Jem caught up with the operations manager, Mr. Carer.
That is impressive.
It's quite simple. It's like a giant steam engine with many mirrors pointing at it.
Sure. It's a very simple concept, but it requires a very accurate design and control to fit every piece together and to make it run in a very commercial way. This is the first solar tower working in a commercial operation in the world and producing the electricity that it is expected from it.
That's amazing. It's like Greek technology, Victorian steam technology, and cutting-edge electricity. In all the areas where it's too hot to grow anything, you can just farm sunshine.
Sure.
And this particular solar farm is expanding fast. A second solar tower will soon come on stream, and eventually this plant should produce enough energy to power Spain's 4th biggest city, Seville. And this plant is keen to branch out and develop other methods of solar energy generation. These futuristic structures may look very different from Jem's desktop model, but they are in fact Stirling engines. Jem is obviously keen to get a closer look, but the presence of the maintenance crew is only fueling Dick's skepticism about the Stirling engine's reliability.
Oh, yeah. Feel the sun off there.
But the thing looks like it's just insulation held together with tape. There's not an awful lot of precision looking up there.
I bet inside that there will be a frightening level of precision.
Because it's not working.
I think when you're pushing the frontiers of science, you can't expect things just to fall into place.
Oh, Jesus will really enjoy that. Jesus, I'm pushing the frontiers of science and my cows are thirsty. But yeah, hey.
I think that's why we're using the ancient technology of the windmill as a backup system.
And that's a timely reminder to Dick. His windmill is still a very long way from spinning. As for Jem, he still has to prove that all his talk about Stirling engines is not just a lot of hot air. Back at the ranch, Jem's first task is to construct an airtight chamber. To get the engine moving, one side must be hot, the other side cold.
We're going to need thick aluminium for the cold side. On the hot side, it's effectively like a greenhouse. I thought we'd go for like a tough plastic.
How do you say that in Spanish?
I know the numbers 1 to 3 and hola.
I can say beer.
I'll come out with you tonight then, Dick. Okay.
Jem's finally got a plan, and he's wasting no time putting it into action. The sun shines through a transparent plastic cover onto a black painted displacer. The heat warms the trapped air. On the other side of the machine, an aluminium plate chilled by running water cools the air. Air expands in the hot side and contracts in the cold side in a continuous cycle. This movement should give him enough power to pump water. Jem's getting to grips with that large sheet of aluminium which will make up the cold side of the box. Aluminium is an excellent conductor. When this metal is exposed to cold water, the temperature of the air in this side of the chamber should drop rapidly.
The water's going to come in at this end here, run down it, and then we should get plenty of cooling.
Yep.
The sort of factor that gives us the power out the engine is the temperature difference. So the colder we can get the cold side and the hotter we can get the hot side, the better it's going to be. So every degree counts. It really does. Every degree counts.
Dick gets back to the massive task of bashing out his windmill blades. Windmills have been used to drive pumps for centuries. But by using recycled materials to build his, Dick's putting a new spin on a tried and tested method. The curved shape will ensure the blades catch the wind, but they need to be set at an angle to increase efficiency.
We need our blades at 45 degrees, so it starts with less wind.
And I guess you do want them all the same, otherwise the thing's going to be rattling around a bit.
We have to get them all the same.
The windmill blades are angled. The skill here is to angle them steeply enough for the windmill to start easily, but not so steeply that they become inefficient or unstable when they turn quickly. Jem is keen to get going on stage 2 of assembling his Stirling engine. He needs to come up with his version of the blue displacing piston, which controls the movement of air between the hot and cold side of the airtight cylinder. Jem is making his displacing piston from a sheet of insulation foam. It's lightweight, but stiff and strong enough for the job.
Inside the box,
That's
going to be flipping either side.
But that is impressive, that's big.
Yeah.
He's painting one side of the displacer piston black. This will help to absorb the maximum amount of heat from the sun. The higher he can get the temperature on the hot side, the more efficient and hopefully more powerful the engine will be. Dick's been up since sunrise, and he's almost finished fitting together his 16-blade rotor. It's critical that these blades are equally spaced and correctly aligned, as an out-of-balance windmill could vibrate, making it unstable and dangerous.
Jem, mate, can you use the lift across with this, could you? It's all quite sharp and it's all quite heavy.
If a blade shears off, it could destroy the whole windmill and cause carnage amongst the cattle.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
It's kind of beautiful.
My next challenge is I've got to turn the roundabout, the spinning motion into an up and down.
Sorry, I was hypnotised when you said that. What was it? I think you could end it with hypnotised cows.
I think we're just about out of solar energy here, you know.
You mean our machines are going to die fairly soon?
No, I actually mean I need to go to the beach and have a beer.
Yeah, me too.
And after a quick beer at the beach, there's one more treat in store. Jesus has invited the guys back for some home-cooked paella.
Good on you.
Gracias. Wow. Thank you very much.
Guten Appetit.
This should be time out, but the Planet Mechanics are always on standby for their next ecological challenge. It's a fine-looking pan of paella, but it's what's keeping it hot that has given Jem food for thought.
How long does it take to cook paella?
Only 1 hour.
Only 1 hour?
Yes.
And do you have it on a high heat or a low heat?
At first, high heat, and then only slow heat.
Only slow?
That's because the rice is...
Yeah. Do you think it would be possible to cook paella from the power of the sun, from sunshine?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
They're still trying to finish off not just one, but two naturally powered pumps to draw water from deep under the Spanish ground. And now they've accepted the challenge of cooking a huge paella using nothing but the power of the sun. It's 7 a.m. and things are already hotting up at the finca. Jem's reached a crucial stage of constructing the Stirling engine. On the miniature Stirling engine, the rapid expansion and contraction of the air inside moves the power piston. It's this which delivers the power to turn the flywheel. Jem's planning to fit his power piston to the hot side of the box. Once they're up and running, Stirling engines are renowned for their smooth, continuous motion. NASA wants a solar engine to power a deep space probe. However, it's unlikely their model will be made in a truck.
Oh, it's getting warm already, mate, and we're in the shade.
With the power piston completed, Jem can finally snap together his big box of tricks. Colonel Dick's been transferred from windmill duties. It's time for his next masterclass in Stirling engine physics.
How much energy is this going to make?
Hopefully, almost as much energy as it takes to lift it. That's the piston that's going to be moving the flipper. So that's what times hot, cold, hot, cold. And then over here, now.
Show me the power then.
Dick, as machines go, this is the mechanical equivalent of rubbing your stomach and patting your head. Okay, so when the flipper inside is at the aluminium end, then the sun streams through, the air gets the entire heat of the sun, gets hot, expands, and then pushes that out.
Look at that power!
That works the pump.
Dick looks impressed. But with a field full of thirsty cows to water and a whole town hungry for solar paella, he's keen to finish his windmill.
Dick, have you got up and down motion there?
We have indeed. Spin this. Go on, look. It's going around. Okay, this is turning. Little cam makes it go up and down. Simple. But down, this is the important bit. Down through the centre of the whole mass system, we're going to have a rod pushing onto the pump, pushing and pulling, which is going to pull the water up for us.
So every time it goes down, collects some water, lifts it. Down, lifts it. Down, lifts it.
As the blades spin, a crankshaft steadily rotates, powering a long rod in a steady up and down motion. This rod is contained in a long pipe and connected to a water piston pump. When the rod rises, water enters the pipe through a valve at the bottom. When the piston drops, the trapped water forces down and closes the valve. This water is then forced up through a second valve, through the piston and up into the pipe. As long as Dick's blades keep spinning, a steady flow of water will be pumped up from the well. Like the rest of the windmill, the pump is unashamedly low-tech, but remarkably effective.